Hi everybody, Tashi here from Pixie Mommies Reborns. Welcome back to my channel, and to all of you new tuning in, hello and welcome. Real quick, I'm going to show you the two babies that I'll be kind of going back and forth, letting you all look at while I have a chat with you all. So this is Oscar. Many of you know him. Hi aunties. Oscar is a full-bodied silicone baby boy. He is the Dwayne Awake #2 by Claire Taylor Dolls. He's one of Claire's audition babies, so this will be relevant as we're conversating here, but I'll tell you more as we go along. And this is Bindi. She is a full-bodied silicone baby girl, and she is the Willow Awake sculpt by Claire Taylor Dolls, and the willows were sold in a kit, a blank kit, silicone kit, for other artists or collectors to purchase and send to artists to paint. Now, there were a few that were completed by Claire in the Awake and the Asleep willows, and those were the prototypes, and so the ones that were fully painted and rooted and sold by Claire were the prototypes. All right, I hope that makes sense. Her edition babies are usually a small edition. Oscar is one of 5, I believe, plus the prototype. So yeah, her editions usually run around 5. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Well, as usual, I kind of put myself up on the chopping block, but I have a lot of folks that come and visit my channel and are asking me questions, and collectors, talking to me, asking me questions behind the scenes. And I feel that, my job here, not that it's a job, but my feelings is, I want to give you all my honest opinion and my honest take on things, and, share from my experiences and my journeys in doll collecting. And I share, of course, all the good and wonderful things I love about, in particular, my Claire Taylor silicone dolls. I love Claire's work, hands down. I think that she is an absolute trailblazer in, the creation of the silicone dolls, her silicone, her painting, her rooting, and all of that. Those of you that follow my channel know that, I obviously really love her work. However, current topic at hand, because folks will come to my channel and say, well, where do I get a Claire Taylor doll? How do I get a Claire Taylor doll? And I will drop the link. It's Claire Taylor has her own website. So currently she's on one of her editions, which is the Courtney edition. From what she has shared, there will be $5 in the edition. Plus she has one that she has shared that she's made for her own private collection, but there will be 5 sold. Those babies, she's on Courtney #2, and I believe that auction is finished, if I'm not mistaken, or in the middle of, or something of the sort. So folks will go to her website, and this is nothing that you can't see by just clicking on the current doll available, Courtney. So let me back it up a little bit. Oscar, the Dwaynes, were the last edition that Claire did with the style of selling that the dolls were customs and a set price for the doll, and if you wanted, all the bells and whistles, how much it would cost. That was the last edition dolls that she sold that way. And then she moved on to doing the private auction and selling the dolls via private auction. So when that took place, I know myself and some other collectors spoke up about our feelings on the private auctions, and a lot of collectors were uncomfortable with that style of selling because it's not transparent. It's not like an eBay auction where you can see what, the bidding is going at, and, what the doll, ultimately sold for. It helps us collectors on the market, when we are buying and selling, and if we're going to buy a doll on the second market, it helps to know what the doll originally sold for. I'm not saying that there's not latitude for the fact that a doll is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. Some dolls do increase in value if it's a closed, sold out, limited edition, and it's a popular one that, a lot of people wanted. Yes, it's certainly possible for a doll to, we see it happen with kits all the time, and sold out limited edition kits. You'll see them kind of going up for sale for, 3-4 times the amount of, what the original kit sold for. However, at least collectors know that going in. Hey, this is what the kit or the doll originally sold for, and this is how much more I'm willing to pay because it's worth it to me, right? So, we had no kind of checks and balances there, and collectors spoke about it. Of course, there was backlash and yada, yada, yada. And so here we are again. And now to boot, if you go on to the website, you can see that Courtney's price, the bidding starts at $9,995. So I'm going to just round that off by the $5 and say $10,000. Each collector is only allowed 2 bids, and you are not allowed to know the current bid. So if someone bids higher than you, if you put in your bid and someone bids higher, you just get told that you were outbid, but you don't get told by how much. So for me, it leaves a lot of room for overpaying way more for a doll because collectors get scared. Now you only have one more bid left and you have no clue what the last bid is. And you all know how these dolls pull at our heartstrings, and and we've also kind of seen this happen and have seen a pattern, and not just with Claire's dolls, but with any artists that are doing the silent auctions. Even auctions in general, even eBay auctions, tend to drive up the prices of a doll. And then when the collectors go to sell in the second market, they are just not able to recoup because there's just not enough collectors that have the funds, that have that kind of money to pay that. Now I understand with like a Prototype Reborn and up on eBay, you're paying for bragging rights. You're going to pay more than ultimately probably what you can get back out of that doll. In fact, even not a prototype and even not on auctions, often as collectors, we do take losses selling these dolls, and we know that going in, but we're paying to enjoy the doll and the experience and such. However, in my personal opinion, the private auctions are extremely off-balanced, and I actually, to be very frank, am kind of embarrassed and feel bad when I'm showing my Claire Taylor silicones and collectors are asking me where they can buy a Claire Taylor doll, and I'm sending them off to this. Then I can also tell you all that both of my Claire Taylor dolls were purchased on the second market. I feel, and I say this all the time, I feel very, very, very blessed and lucky to have Oscar. I feel like I really, lucked into him, and he was definitely meant to be my son, for sure. And, yeah, I really, really feel so blessed to have Oscar. I recently was on the market in the second market looking for a baby girl to kind of complete. I wanted Oscar and I wanted to have a Claire Taylor, baby girl, silicone baby girl. I wanted the fun of, dressing a baby girl and all of that. And obviously, I very much admire Claire's work. I did not have an easy time of it, on the second market. And I arrived at Bindi. As some of you know, there was some circumstances surrounding that, and my members know a little bit more, but that's really neither here nor there. Things are settled now, and I'm able to move forward and enjoy Bindi, and I love her very much. And she's, a beautiful addition to my collection. Very nice compliment to Oscar, because she's very different than him. She has a totally different body style. She's a bit bigger or longer for dressing and, all that. So I'm very pleased. But it wasn't even easy to arrive here. And in the midst, I've been trying to help a few friends, find their dream babies that would also like Claire Taylor dolls. And it hasn't been easy because, the recent dolls, edition dolls that were made, people purchased on these silent auctions. And now collectors that are wanting to sell them, you're only going to take so much of a hit till it burns really, really bad. So nobody's wanting to let go of their dolls. At least, listen, this is what my opinion, my standing back, what I'm seeing. I'm not, you can't take it as the Bible etched in stone. I just want to make that all clear. This is not facts. This is just the feeling that I get and what I'm viewing. And rightfully so. I feel like if I was standing in the shoes and I paid a certain amount for a doll, I wouldn't want to take, that much of a loss. You're talking about, it's knowledge that we know. I think that some of the Ethans, we know one went for over 15. We know one went for over 25, might have been like 26,000, like really way up there. How many collectors are really in the market, in the hobby, that can afford those kind of prices? There's not a lot of them. So for the, average collector that is, selling their entire collection to get one doll and working really hard and, just really, y'all know what we go through, to get these dolls. And some of us spend more than what we have, just all kinds of crazy stuff. So they really, really pull at our heartstrings. But, when you get into those numbers, of course, and there's other dolls that sell for those numbers. I'm not saying that they shouldn't sell for that or that they're not worth that. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't misread. And I certainly think, yes, if there's enough collectors that are, can afford it, and the artist's work is absolutely valuable. I'm not taking that away from any artist, definitely not. What I am saying is I'm curious, and I'd love to hear from all of you, because I think that a lot of there's a vibe going around and there's a lot of talk going around, but nobody's spoken up, nobody's broke the dam and started to speak. And I'm really curious, and I would love to know from all of you, do you all think that this will have an effect on the second market at all? Because I'm feeling like it may, there's only a certain amount of collectors, so to speak. at that price of it, and that it's kind of starting to be that on the second market, um there's many more collectors that just can't reach those prices, like way over $10,000, to pay close to what the collector did pay on the silent auction. Or we just don't get to know, period. We just know it started at $10,000, so it's, you only are going up from there, right? So, you know is this now, in order to generate for new auctions, most collectors need to buy to excuse me, need to sell to buy. And if they're not successfully selling, then they're not in it to buy the new dolls. Will that get backed up over time? I'm not saying it's happening now in this round of it, but I'm just curious as to all your thoughts, because there is an ebb and a flow, and the secondary market plays a big part in it. So, no, I might not have bought my dolls directly from Claire Taylor. I'm not per se a customer of Claire's. I've never, done business with her. But in some sense, I am part of the ebb and the flow of the market, which, keeps obviously the artist going. And this is with regard to any artist. I'm just using as an example because I'm a little surprised. I think collectors kind of spoke up last time, and it went in the opposite direction, as now, like, collectors only get two bids. They don't get to know what the last bid was. Like, it's like, wow, and I'm not quite sure what to tell people on my channel, like, if they would, like this particular artist's work. And I, in all honesty, wouldn't advise someone to, if I'm giving my best advice as a collector in this hobby, you're looking to get your most bang for your buck, right? You're looking at all the features that you would like, a painting style you would like, a size of a baby you would like, all the stuff we talk about. Do you want a sleeping or awake? What's the different artist styles you like? Do you like a bigger baby, a smaller baby, a preemie, a newborn, da 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 da? And some of the things we talk about, of course, is achieving that in price, and saving up, putting things on layaway, starting at a certain place, and then selling that doll on, and then adding a little bit more to it, and getting something kind of upgrading, if you will, like many collectors do in many other hobbies. You start out going into something, and you're just getting your feet wet, seeing if you like it, and then you see, oh wow, this is out there or that's out there, and I'm really loving this hobby and I'm staying around, so I'm willing to put more into it, and you sell and you add a little bit more. That's how I've, got where I am, and that's where a lot of collectors, get to where they are. So in giving you all advice, like, no, I definitely don't think it's a smart, practical move at all. I think you have no idea to know if you're completely, overpaying. And also, there's another glitch in which, because most of us have to sell to buy, and this is the saddest part, I think, and why many collectors, are afraid to, take that plunge, because now you're potentially selling all the babies that you love, because to get a new doll, you're going to have to sell several, of your, beloved dolls, and probably, add to it. And there's no guarantee that you are going to win that auction. You have no idea whether you're going to win, whether someone is going to go over your limit of what you can bid. You have no idea. And that's a risk I would never take. It doesn't, matter. Speaking of the addition of Courtney, I definitely love her. Number two, I was definitely very drawn to. But yeah, no, there's not a shot in heck that I would be selling on my babies that I adore with not having, no idea, nor what just the whole shebang. But, um, and it's like, oh, usually they come up on the second market. You might have to wait a few years, but usually they do come up on the second market. And now it's like, oh, well, I wonder what people are paying on these private auctions. And if these dolls will come up on the second market, or if collectors are just going to hold on to them, which is fine. You pay for it, you own it, absolutely enjoy it, hold on to it. But then is that going to cause a traffic jam, because those few collectors that can afford it, now they've got doll after doll after doll, and they're holding on to them because of their value. And then at a certain point, like, how many dolls is somebody going to, reach? Am I making sense? Let me know in the comments if I'm making sense. I mean no disrespect to Claire whatsoever, and you can say I'm not a true fan of her, that I don't want to see her do well. It has zero to do with that. My job, as I look at it here, is to give you all, my best advice from my experience in collecting. Some of you all are new to the silicones and the whole game of it. And I think that you deserve to know. It shouldn't be some secret on these higher end silicones. And there's a lot of other great high end silicone artists, if that's the type of doll that you're looking for right now, that you can buy outright from. That it's first come, first serve. There's a price. You could buy outright. Some of them have layaway. And so that's my kind of job here. I also have, my channel has a membership. Now, the Pixie Squad, as we call ourselves, is my channel membership. And we are going to follow up with this in the coming days in a live chat, to share a little bit more behind the scenes, our thoughts as collectors. And there are collectors in there that do own Claire Taylor silicone dolls. I invite you all, if you would like to support my channel and become a member, there's always a link down below in the description, or you can click the blue join button next to subscribe. It is $1.99 a month. You can cancel that at any time. But you must be an adult, 18 years or older, to join. But for literally less than the price of a cup of, Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks a month, come on in, hang out. If you have questions, you can chat with me in the, live chat, back and forth. It's just a fun hangout, especially like during these times. A lot of us are stuck inside and not able to physically get out and socialize and do some of the things that we normally do. So, just, a fun place to be. But either way, if you're watching, please go now. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, Gabe, stop, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And I was about to say something, but my son was literally standing next to me with the cat in my face. So I am sorry. That is a downslide to, being down here now recording videos. But it is what it is. I lost my train of thought completely. I apologize. But I really wanted to wrap it up, with, I'm just totally off. Anyways. Last time the silent auctions were discussed, again, there was a lot of backlash and, some whatever. And, it is what it is now. I'm certainly a year and a half, down further into it. And I know who I am, where I stand, and certainly what my intentions are. And I always, I make a lot of videos speaking up for artists in many, many ways. in the way that they are treated by certain collectors and how they are dealing with the public, and they are creating and allowing them to have creative freedom and time and just all sorts of stuff. I'm a small business owner myself. Like, I very much, that's why I don't get this. I'm confused because as a business person, I'm like, ugh, I feel like this is kind of going to back things up. I feel like it's kind of going in the opposite direction of what your customer base is telling you, when your bread and butter is speaking, so to speak. So I'm not sure. One other thing, and we'll talk about this more in the Pixie Squad, but that is the drinking wets in the dolls. And I want to talk about thoughts about, even if you don't use a drinking wet in the doll, the value that it brings on the resale to a doll, and the fact that probably 98% of collectors out there do actually care that it has one. So if you are going to say, spend over a certain amount on a doll, and everybody has their different ideas in their heads, but I want to chat about that is, do you want it to have all the bells and whistles, and how high up there on the list is the drink and wet for you? Because I currently have a collector that I know is trying to buy on the second market the drink and wet's a make it or break it. There's been a lot of beautiful dolls. I think Eric talked about that. Because she recently sold one of her willows that didn't have. Yes, I listened to her video, and she said, now, of course, he did sell, but you want to make the sales easier, and you want to have the features in a doll that the collectors want, and that they're going to, enjoy and showcase the dolls more and play with, and all of that stuff. So that's another thing that kind of is like a little mystery, I guess, to me anyway. But we're going to chat more in membership. Like I said, come on in, drop down in the description and click the link or the blue join button next to subscribe. And of course, leave me a comment. Don't be afraid. Share your thoughts. I would like to hear from you all. All right, everyone. Until next time, God bless.
Bye.